let's go to our site and see how to access everything we need. If you have already installed your WordPress from your Infinity Free, I would show you. But if you have not installed it, you could come to your software, scroll down. When you get to software, you click on Softaculous Apps Installer. If you click on this, then you will install. You proceed to installing your WordPress. So, okay, I think I logged out. Can just log back in. Yes. Let me see which of them. Password is not working. But let me go ahead. But when you sign in, let me see. I can't remember my Infinity Free password. They should log me in. Thought I saved that password. But however, I will just proceed. Let me see if this will still work. But once you sign in with your WordPress, you see this page. Then if you click on this, you access your website. So once I click on this, I would see something like this. You click on this first one here, this is your web link, you access this. Whereas if you click on the second one, you access where you can log in. Yes, you'll access where you can log in. Let me see if I get, oh, this is my username, cPanel username. So let me try logging back in. Let's change this, it'll work. Okay, exactly. So that's it. So I can log in now. Let me close this and redo them. So having logged in, you just come down to your Softaculous if you have not installed it yet. If you don't have access to Infinity Free, you can watch the previous video by the previous instructor and you would learn how to do that. But when you do all that, when you sign up on Infinity Free, you can now install WordPress. Once you install it, you would see the previous page I showed you that if you click, you get to access your. So let's do this. This is your demo site. This is a demo theme. I will show us everything about it. But first, let me go to what we are doing today. We said the first thing we'll be looking at is the dashboard, the admin dashboard. So if you click on, if you want to access your dashboard, normally you could access it with the website URL /wp-admin. So if you do that, it will take you to your dashboard. If you're not logged in, it will tell you to log in. Let me see. Let me log out. So yeah, if I want to log out, I just click on my profile, then log out. So let me redo this. Yes. So you see this. If I do wp-admin to my site, it will tell me to log in. So that's what is required. I hope I can remember this password. See. Let me see. Let me see. I can't remember that. I remember the password. Let me just go to, yeah. If you see here, I've already installed this, so I don't need to install it again. But if you have not done that, you just click on install. But let me see, overview, manage. Okay, so there are many ways to get back in. So I'll just use one of the bypasses to get in. If I click here, you see my WordPress dashboard. From here directly, I can go into my WordPress without remembering my password. So I'll just click on login and I'll go back in. So later I'll fix my password, but I don't want to spend so much time on that right now. So moving on. You see, I'm back to my dashboard. Please, you can take note of your password so you don't be like me and forget your password. I just used a dummy password, but normally I don't forget my passwords. But this is just for training purposes. So this is what your dashboard looks like. You see, welcome to WordPress. Learn more about the 6.9 version. So each time WordPress updates its version, you can also see that here. But if you want to personally choose a version or you want to update your version, you can do all that from your cPanel. We will not look at that at the moment, but let me just explain what the dashboard entails. The dashboard, towards the left, you see the WordPress logo where you see other information about WordPress, how to get involved with WordPress, WordPress.org, documentation, learn WordPress, support, feedback, more information about WordPress. You see that there. And you also see the name of your site, this WP. This is the name of the site. This is what I gave the site. So you can see that if you want to visit your site, if you click on this or you right click, you will see your site. So that's how it works. So back to our dashboard. This is just an overview. You see your screen options here. If you look at the bottom, it shows you different things. It's showing your activity. It's showing you WordPress events and news. It's showing your site at a glance, WordPress health status, quick draft. If you have more plugins, I will explain plugins. If you have more plugins, you'll also see those features and whatever is happening here. So you see here, site health status. That's this. If I turn that off, this site health status will go off. So that's how it works. So you see that it has disappeared. If I turn off at a glance has gone off. If I turn off activity goes off. If I turn off quick draft goes off. If I turn off WordPress events, it goes off. If I turn off welcome goes off, and my dashboard becomes empty. So you can rearrange your dashboard however you like. Anything, you can turn on what you want to see and turn off what you don't want to see. So if you want to keep track of your website, then you may want to leave activity on so that you can know what is happening. If you update a post, you delete a post, you can also see all those here. Health status shows you if you have any security threat or anything, it would show you that. Then basically, if I'm working, I like to just leave health status off, on, then every other thing is off. But you can choose whatever you want based on your needs. It could help you track everything at a glance. Updates, you see this home and updates still on your dashboard. Then if you look downwards, so these are basically updates. If you need to update your WordPress, if let's say there's a newer version of WordPress and there will be an update here telling you that, okay, let's say this is 6.9, there's 7.4, there's 8. This, they'll tell you, okay, you need to upgrade or update your WordPress. That's where you see that. You also see for plugins, if any of your plugin is out of date or any of your plugin needs to be updated, you see that here. If your theme also needs to be updated, you see that here. So this is what it does. Then posts, we get to see posts. I will explain what posts are, but let me just do a quick walkthrough about the dashboard. Here you see posts. Posts are like blogs, Yeah, if you want to write an update, if you want like news, blogs, and all those things, you can use post for that. If you highlight or you hover, you can see all the posts that you have at every time. You can add a new post. You can categorize your posts, and you can also tag your post. Categories and tags are not the same thing, but you can use them as identifiers. Yes, let's say an example is I have different types of products, and one product is or different categories for my products. One can be I can categorize my product as female, and I can categorize my product as male or children. So that would be the category. Then tags can be what kind of product is it for female? Is it a bag? Is it a leather belt? Is it a this and that? So I could use those belts as tags where I'm using male, female as categories. So that's how it works. But you can still categorize them as bags, right? Then you can use tags for something else, like the varieties, like it could be color or anything. But however you want, you can choose whatever you want. It's your website. Yeah, although there are best practices. So that's where you can see posts. You could also see media. Media is files that you upload on your website. It could be PDF, audio, whatever, anything you upload, you can find it in your media directory. So you can see all that. Then let me finish up before I get into user roles. So you can see pages. If you have different pages, contact page, home page, about page, and all that. Currently, this site is empty, so there's nothing here. There's only a privacy policy page, which is also a draft page. Yes, you see pages. Pages can be left as draft, or you publish them. When you publish them, then they can be seen. But if they are saved as draft, pages or posts or anything, if they are as draft, you can't do anything. Like people can see them. You can edit, you can do anything, but people won't see them because they are not published. Until you publish, nobody will see them. So that's how it is. Then you have comments. People can leave a comment on your website, on your blog post, on a product, whatever. People can do that if you open comments. You also have appearance. Appearance is where you could find things. If you want to customize your website, the color, the feel, all those things, your name, you can do that in appearance. Then you have plugins. Plugins are like the way you have apps on your phone. Let's say you want to use a calculator function. You need a calculator app on your phone. That's how plugins are. Plugins give your website extra functionality. Yes, so if you want to want your website to be able to receive payment, then you would need to add a payment plugin. If you want your website to be able to take in forms or to capture leads, you need to add a contact form. That's a contact plugin. So we'll get to learn about plugins in details, but I'm just doing an overview. Then one of the things we need to look at is user roles, users and roles. Then also settings. Okay, that's a bit, let me separate this. They're supposed to be separate. Yeah. So settings, not, yeah. So user roles, and let me do that first. So when we get to users, you can see you can use different types of users, right? Here, I'm the only user, but let's say I have a website or I build a website for a client. And most clients don't know how to design websites. So you don't want them to spoil the website or to tamper with it. You may not give them admin access. There are different roles for users. So there's a subscriber role. If somebody just joins your website or wants to join your newsletter, they can join in as subscribers. They cannot do anything there. They can only comment and use the website, but they cannot do much from like, yes. Then contributor. Contributor can do a little, You can give them specific instructions that they can do. An example is a contributor can, with access, if you give the contributor access, the contributor can also work on blog posts or moderate blog comments based on the access that you give them, right? Then author is somebody that can write something. Example, blog post. If you have a blog, you can give somebody author access such that the person can be writing blog posts and be doing other things, but basically writing. You cannot access your payment and other major things. You cannot access your design. Then you have editor. Editors function like administrators, but you don't have full access. An editor cannot create most of the things that an administrator can, but he can edit them. Let's say an editor cannot or may not be able to add a new plugin or delete a plugin. He can only edit it and use the plugin. So that's how it is. Administrators have ultimate rights. Administrators can do anything, including delete your website. So you don't just give administrator rights to everybody. Usually it's advisable to just leave one person as admin, then use other roles for other people. So that's how that works. Then let's move on to tools. Tools are, if you look at the available tools here, you see import. Let's say you built a website somewhere and you don't want to rebuild it again, but you bought a new domain or you want to transfer it something, you can import it. So that's how this works. Then export is still the same process, but now you can bundle this particular website and move it somewhere else. So that's how you export. Then you see your site health. You remember site health that we saw in the dashboard? That's how it is. Export personal data. Let's say people are signing up on your website and yeah, you're getting users, people are buying your products and everything. You can get that, all those details from personal data. Yes. Then erase personal data, you can still do that. Theme file editor. Let's say you use a theme. I'll show us how to do that. Let's say you upload a theme and you're using a theme. Themes are kind of like templates. You know how if you want to do a graphic design and you go to Canva and you just use a template already designed, you just have to customize it. That's how themes are. Themes are already built websites that you have to customize. Some of them are free, most of them are paid. So we'll get to show you that. Then plugin file editor. You remember I told you that plugins are like software or apps that you use to make your website better and more functional. So if you know how to design a plugin or you know how to write the code for plugins, that's PHP. So you could also edit your plugin and your themes. But if you don't know how to do that, avoid these two things. If not, you will scatter your site and you may not be able to fix it if you don't know that. Then let's look at settings. Settings are just the way you have settings on your iPhone or your Android. That's how settings work here. Now, this is the site name, WGD, that's We Go Digital, WP Mastery. This is the site name. That's why when I open this is what you can find here. So that's how it works. If I change that name now, let's say, watch this. Let's do live class. If you look at this top here, it's already changing. Same thing. So if I save this, it will automatically affect this. You see that? So that's what it is. That's how it works. I don't have a logo, so I'm just using this as a logo, site name logo, but that's not how it works. If you use a logo, you do that. Then tagline. Tagline is, you know how it is, Nike, just do it, stuff like that. Your business name, then your tagline or something you want to be remembered by. Then your site icon. Your site icon is, if you look at the top of this screen now, if you look at the top of the web page, you see this icon here. This is the WordPress icon. This is the Sotafula icon. This is the cPanel icon. This is the YouTube icon. So you can actually choose your site icon. Currently, I have the WordPress icon, but let me see if I could find. Now, look at it has a suggested dimension 512 by 512 pixels. If you bring something more than that, it will tell you to crop it to 512 by 512. So let me see if I can just put something there. Wait. Okay, let me see if I can change my logo. Let me see if it will work. Okay, then let me save and see if it will affect it. Yes, it has affected it. If you look at the top now, it has changed to my black logo. But that's not so visible. But you need to use something, an icon that is very visible. If you're using a name, I would not suggest using a name for your text. You can use an icon so that it will be visible and more memorable. Yeah, so you can work around that. Then we see this is the web address. So if somebody wants to go to your website, this is how they access your site. ngtitles.infinityfree.me. Then administration email is the email that if you want anybody to reach out to, like if you want WordPress to reach out to you, or if you want to have a communication with WordPress, the email that they will contact, that's the email you put here. Membership, if you want anybody to be able to register, you can check this on or off. New user default role, subscriber. If you do administrator, that means you want to lose your site. That means anybody that access your site, including hackers, will have admin access and they will just kill your site. So you do that, you leave it as subscriber. Site language, you can choose whatever language you want to leave the site. So if I change this, if I save this, every text on my site would automatically change to this language. I cannot risk that. So let me leave it back to English United States. If you're in another country or anything, or you're designing a site for somebody in China, that means your site language primarily has to be in Chinese. That's just an example. Then time zone, based on where you're designing. If you're designing for people abroad or anywhere, like when I designed sites for some of my clients in Canada, I have to do the Canadian time. I think Canada is about UTC -4 or thereabout. I can't remember. But I think I have a savvy time. Let me see Canada. Toronto. Yes. So where's Toronto? Toronto is 7:11 p.m. now. But currently in Nigeria, it is 1 a.m. So that's about 5 hours behind. So it will be UTC -4, yes. So you can choose your format for your date, January 14th, or however you want. You choose the formats. Just choose whatever you prefer. Your time format, capital letter, AM or PM or small letters. So however it works for you, you just do that. Then when you are done with your settings, these are the general settings. So you just click on save. It would save that for you. So you see this one, week starts on, if you want Sunday or Monday, it depends on you, you can do that. Then under settings also, you could see writing. Now, the default post category, let's say you want to be creating multiple posts, but if you don't give your post a category, WordPress will automatically create a category for you. And the standard category is uncategorized. If you want to change that, you may need to add another category in your posts. So if I click on categories, you would see that the only category I have now is uncategorized. But let me say I want to add another category. Let me add WordPress. This is just a sample to show us what I want to do. So let me go back to settings and click on writing. Now you see I have two categories, so I can choose the one I want to use as default category. So that's how it works. Then standard post format, default post format, it could be standard, aside, chat. So you could choose which type of post it is. If you want to do posts like quotes, let's say you want to be doing daily quotes or daily nuggets, and you want it to look like a post, you can click on quotes and it will use the format of quotes. If you want to do a video, you will see that the post type will be different, such that you can also add a video or a video link. So anything, if you choose a gallery, then you can add more pictures to that post. Whatever you choose, it has different features that you could play around with. So that's the thing. Then mail server, all these ones, you don't need to touch them. You could just leave them as they are. Then, so that's it for writing rather. Then reading now, watch this. Latest posts, that means any post you update will be the first post, will change to your homepage. So, and if you're designing a portfolio website or a business site, you may not do that. You may not leave it as this. If you're doing a blog, then you need to do this. Let's say you are a dynamic site that you need to be updating every day. Then you can make your latest post as your homepage, such that if you create a new page or you create a new post tomorrow, automatically that post will become the new site, such that if somebody clicks, that's what they will see first. But if you don't want that, you need to click on, let me go back. I'm going to click on static page instead of just clicking on the checkbox. So if I click on this static page, now I can choose what I want to be my homepage. Static page means that it won't change, right? So you can do that. You can choose this. And post page. Post page is your blog page. You need to choose the page that you want to pass as your blog page. So you can also choose that. You can change it. So you can come back here and change that. Then blog pages show at most. That means how many blog posts or blog pages do you want to show at a time when you open the blog page? Once we start designing, you will see more of this. Same thing with feed full text, or if you want to create a section, a blog section, what do you want? Do you want it to be full text or just an excerpt, such that you can choose, I just want only 20 texts or 20 words, however, you could also do that. So I prefer leaving it as excerpt. Then for search engine visibility, you don't want to turn this one off. If you turn this off, that means your site will not show up on Google. And what's the essence of building a site if you don't want it to show up on Google? So, okay, one in these pages should not be the same. So let me just leave that and proceed. We don't have more pages. That's why it's showing that if we had more pages, we could just change that. Then discussion, default post setting, you could just read about it. These are straightforward. So anytime somebody links a post to any of your, or somebody links your blog post, they will send you a message if you want to be notified. So basically, this is what happens here. If look at this, email me whenever anybody post a comment. So if somebody drops a comment for your blog or your product or anything, you should receive an image. If you don't want to receive an image, you turn it off, right? So you can also do more, just read. You can read each of them, see what you want. Then if you want people to be like this, automatically close comments on old posts. Whenever you make a post, let's say if you leave it on for 14 days, that means after 14 days, people would not be able to, like, people's posts will no longer be active. It will go off. Right? So that's one of the things that happens. So you just play around this, whatever you want. That's for discussion. Then for media, sorry, I see avatar there. Yeah, so you could see avatar. Avatar is, you know what avatar is, just like your display picture. You see this here. This is the default avatar, the mystery person. That's why you can see it at the top right. That's the mystery person. So if you choose a Gravatar logo, it will change to the Gravatar logo. If you choose anything else, Monster ID, you could also do that. If I save my profile image at the top, look at it, has changed to that. So that's that for discussion. If you're leaving a text, a comment on the site, you would see that as. So your maximum rating, yeah, G, that's suitable for all audiences. But if you want PG, let's say you depend on the kind of content you put out. Yeah, so X rated for, you know what X is, 18 years and above. Same thing, just play around all these depending on the nature of the sites that you're building per time. So moving on to media. Media, you can choose the size of the files, like the dimensions. If you want a large file, a large size file, you can set it to be 1024 by 1024 pixels. If you don't want it to be 1024 by 1024, you want it to be smaller, you can decrease that. If you want it to be bigger, you can increase that. So that's how it is. Then medium size, 300 by 300. And thumbnail, you know, I would show you when we start designing, you see thumbnail and you understand the difference about this. But organize my uploads into month and year basis. So yeah, it's better that way. So you can, when you upload your files, they will arrange themselves according to when you uploaded them so that things don't get missing or hidden. Then permalinks. Permalinks are how you want your site to be seen, like your URL, whatever you do.com / how do you want them to show? If you leave it at day and name, then you can see site.com / today's date and name. And you don't want that kind of a thing. Like name is the name of post or the name of the page. So you can see something like ngtitles.com / 20 or 14th January 2026 / about. You don't want something like that. So you see the example here. You see that date and time, dates rather, and sample post. Then here too, this one, month and name. You don't want all these things. I don't like them like this. Numeric, uses numbers. Post name, this is what I like using, post name, such that it would give you only your name of the site / post name. Example, ngtitles.com / about, ngtitles.com / book / post. So I prefer using this one. Then you save. Yeah. If you want to add more categories, you can do this more structure, just put that there, but I don't do all those. So privacy, you can add your privacy page, you create your privacy policy page, then you add that here. So privacy policy page, you see that. You could also have your terms and conditions page, how people react with you and your website and your business online. So I think we've covered everything in our lesson 3. Yes, so you go through this simple, learn how this works, then we'll get to lesson 4. In lesson 4, we will look, lesson 4 is module 2. We just finished module 1, which is the introduction to WordPress foundations, what it could do and everything, domain hosting, then the dashboard. So in a module 2, we begin our core skills. And in lesson 4, we'll be looking at the difference between posts and pages, categories and tags. I've talked about some of them, creating and formatting content, then how to use the Gutenberg editor. It's also called the block editor. That's lesson 4. Then in lesson 5, we get to apply themes. So this is it. You will get another video for lesson 4, but we're currently done with lesson 3. If you have any questions, do well to ask in the WhatsApp group, and we will take it up from there. Thank you.